Are you ready? Did you light the candle? Okay, let's start the ritual. Welcome to Intuitively Wild, the podcast. I'm your host, Rachel. This is a space where truth gets its voice back because shame loses its power when we speak to it. Here, we don't skip the hard parts. We sit with them and we learn to hold ourselves inside them. This podcast is ritual in audio form, a way for us to bring intention and intuition back into our everyday. Let's dig into our roots and go deep. Okay, everyone, welcome back to Intuitively Wild, the podcast, and welcome to my mom. Again, we are recording together, but virtually, because that's just what we're working with today. And I'm so grateful to have my mom here with me because today we are talking about Intuitively Wild, what it truly is, and the foundation of it all, and the opening of the space. And of course, this podcast is an extension of Intuitively Wild, but the space is really the home and the real core of the business. And we're recording this about a month out from the opening, but when this is released, it will be the week before the opening ceremony. So, very exciting. And my mom is, along with my dad, the person who has really seen me through this whole trajectory, start to finish. She knows all the details. If there's anyone who knows about Intuitively Wild and what has gone into creating it and my intention with it and my devotion to it, it is my mom. So I wanted to have this conversation to kind of share with people who might not know what it is. And also, I wanted to bring my mom in it to facilitate this conversation a little bit, ask questions, and give her own insights and thoughts. And yeah, just share the vision and what's happening because I think if you're listening to this podcast, you probably know I've been working towards this for a while, but there are some new people and um oh, yeah, so you might not know the story or what's going on, but I'm opening a physical space for Intuitively Wild, and it, in a way, is kind of it's very much a shift from what the business was before, but in my eyes now, I really see it as a whole new business, um, kind of starting from scratch with what I really truly want to be doing. So. Yeah, it's a physical space and it's in upstate New York, but it's for everyone. And I don't know, Mom, where do you think we should start?
First, I must start by saying that it has been such a joy and an honor to watch this come alive, and the devotion and passion and intentionality you put into this space oh, really is expressed in the space, and it is something very, very special. And I think maybe one thing you it just came to me, I mean, one thing you've shared with me is that when people ask you, what is it? It's hard to sum up in a title. I know you. So that's a very broad question. But if we were to start there, because I know you get that question, and then maybe we can, get more and more sort of granular into the facets of it, because it is multifaceted, which is what makes it very unique. Um, but how would you sort of, you know, broad picture
So,
describe it?
yeah, so I think what makes it challenging for me is that it's not one thing and it's not something that really I've ever seen in the world before. So it's not like I can
Nor I.
say it's a yoga studio or an apothecary or a mental health or whatever. It's really a combination of all my things. A meditation studio, like it's not just one thing that people can kind of conceptualize and compartmentalize. So and I really want to try what to give people the full scope of what it is when they ask me. And the tagline for it, so it's Intuitively Wild, a ceremonial space, apothecary, and studio for connection. And there are a couple of different offers and way to interact with the space. And I guess I'll give a brief explanation of each of them. One is when it's open for what I'm calling regulate hours, which is when it's just open as kind of like a cafe, a tea house. You can just come and buy tea and hang out and do whatever. That's just when it's open for us to come together and treat it as the regular hangout. And then there's time when it is when we have other specific offers that you do have to sign up for. So one is called Listen, which is our tea ceremony, and it is based off of a traditional bowl tea Chinese tea ceremony. Um, and I will be weaving in other modalities into that in whatever way intuitively comes to me, but that's the basis of that offer. And then there's times when it's open for self connection, what I'm calling devote, when you can just come and use the space as you wish. There will be yoga mats for you, meditation cushions. You can come and co-work and journal or bring your arts and crafts or whatever. You can bring your friends, of course, but it's more of a silent time to kind of do your own thing and use the space however you want. And of course, there will be tea for everyone. And then our offer, our two other offers are ritual and ceremony. And those are very similar, and they're a mix of all the different modalities that I work with, whether that's yoga therapy, pranayama, whether that's tea ceremony or ritual work or talking about human design or astrology, whatever. It's all of those things woven in together, and the balance of what is highlighted will depend on the season and the cycle and the group we're with. So sometimes we might do 2 minutes of asana, and sometimes we might do 50 minutes of asana, although that would probably be rare. And the difference between ritual and ceremony is the energy. So ritual is much more casual and um, not less impactful, but a little less intense. I used that word one time, and someone was like, "That might scare people away from from ceremony." I'm like, "Well, it's kind of true. Ritual is a little less intense. We're in just a more casual setting, and ceremony is really where we go deeper and." I bring a lot more of my ritual work into it, my ceremony work into it, and connect really deeply with um, our the world in that way. Um, and yeah, that's kind of the crux of all the offers. Um, I guess I'll stop there and see if you have any questions, Mom, that you think I should.
I think that, describes my understanding of it. I mean, I think that it's important for people to know that in all the different modalities, you have steeped yourself and committed yourself to very serious trainings, and that you didn't just wake up one day and say, I'm going to be this and do this. Like, you have studied and you have honed your craft, and you're always working on that. And I think that also, okay, Rachel's going to think I'm saying this because I'm her mother, but it's important for the world to know that it's a safe space, that it is never, ever a place where it requires anything from anybody more than what they are either able or willing to put forth, and that it's all equally accepted and honored. And it's really, really powerful and refreshing to know that there's a space like that guided by a person like you.
Thank you. Thank you for saying that. That makes make me kind of emotional to think about because, well, first off, I do want to say that yes, my trainings have been really the crux of my life up until this point. Like what I've really poured myself into are my trainings, and I there did come a time where I had to be like, okay, I'm still deep in certain trainings, especially with one particular teacher who um, is really supporting me in where I'm going next. But like I've had to get strict with myself and be like, you're ready. Like you don't need to take another training. You don't like I think there comes a time sometimes when we can just not for me, it feels like I'm never good enough. I always need to keep learning, and I love learning, and I it's in my human design. I love that about myself. I'll always be learning and continuing my education, but there did come a time where I was like, okay, if I don't do this, I will, it's no longer, it will be because I'm afraid. It will be because I'm
Right.
holding myself back or because I think I'm not good enough. And um, so, yeah, there did come a turning point with that. But um, yeah, when I look back on my life, a huge part of it has been my trainings. Like that's really been my
Right.
whole life.
And I
Um,
think, oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
no, it's going to transition to a different topic. So if you want
Okay.
to say
No, no,
something
no.
about that.
Let's
Okay.
continue.
Okay. So then the other thing I wanted to say is that a huge intention of mine in opening this space was to create the space that I've been looking for and that I've been wanting and really needing. And it's so important to me that people feel welcomed and wanted and accepted. And of course, nothing is for everyone. That's just impossible. And if I were to try to make it for everyone, I would water down what's true to me. But I do want, I do feel like it is for everyone. Like I feel like, well, one, I hope that anyone and everyone can walk in and feel something that connects them to something, whether that's themselves, others, nature, just a sense of peace. And I think that a lot of people rule themselves out of this type of world, this world that they think is maybe too spiritual or for people who have the time or just a different life than them. And really, what I want people to realize is that intentional connected an intentional connected lifestyle is for everyone. Ceremony and ritual is for everyone, and it's what helps us live a life of purpose and authenticity, and that life is for everyone. And this space is really to help people connect to that. I think especially in our world right now, many of us are very disconnected, and whether that's from ourselves, whether that's from others, and I don't have all the answers. I don't have any answers, but I do think that I ho- I hope to be a space where people can come to find their way back to themselves. And I also hope to be a space where people can come to have open, healthy conversations with people who might disagree with them. And
Wow, that'd be great.
I don't think I'm the one to facilitate a lot of those conversations, especially when it comes to politics or the state of our world right now. But I do hope to be the space that allows those conversations to happen and allows people of all different walks of life and perspectives and ways of living come connect to themselves, come home to themselves, and connect to others and feel that true connection.
That's the thing. May I just interject that
Yeah.
there is such a hunger and I don't know why I must be hungry because I would say a famine of of true, authentic connection with definitely with ourselves and nature, but even if we stay with the piece about other people, honest what and I think that so bringing in also the connection with oneself, it's sort of like what this space offers, which is unique, which is so desperately needed, is this balance between helping one reconnect with who they are authentically, which then allows an openness to see other people in real life environments, and be able to be honest and open and listen, so that you can talk about important things even when you disagree, maybe especially when you disagree, and feel nourished by that, and feel like you've gained perspective on things, rather than feeling like one needs to sort of grip more tightly onto one's own way of looking. And so that interdependence between being with oneself and feeling really comfortable with oneself and getting to know oneself, and taking that and using that also, that self-awareness, to, to build community with another person, even, which is how we evolved. We are meant to be with people. And in being able to have the most enriched relationships, we need to know ourselves. And I think that you're picking up on that need, both because you've done your own interior work to know that that's what is missing in your own life. It is missing in the world at large. And this is like a little oasis, offering that to people in the most beautiful way. And I, for one, cannot wait for it to open. Even though I get to be your mom and share those things with you always, it's an incredible offering. So, you know, just wanted to add that.
Yeah, I think that most people don't actually know themselves or what they want or what they think and feel. I think a lot of us are living on autopilot and just conditioned by how we were raised or the noise that we hear from social media or what we think we should say or believe or do. And not many of us have taken the time or had given ourselves the space or the permission to actually get to know ourselves
That's right.
and to actually connect to our heart and our feelings and our desires. And I think if we all started there, things would automatically change because when you're moving from that place, you're first of all, you're coming from a more heart-centered place, which just changes
Yes.
the energy automatically. And also you're not coming from fear. You're not coming from as much reactivity. You're not coming from a place of self-hatred, so you're projecting out onto others, or self-disconnection and projecting that out onto others. And so I think that, yeah, we undermine how much self-acceptance and self-knowing can change everything because it ripples out into how we interact
It's
with the world.
absolutely. And to your point earlier about that, sometimes you get pushback by some people that, this is a luxury kind of thing. I don't have time for that. What one The beautiful thing is when you sort of let go of that conditioned belief that it is a basic need, and that it not only won't take away from what you think you need to produce and achieve, it it enhances your life in every other way. And it may, create a shift in how you're thinking about things that you've been doing on autopilot, but it it is a foundation, as you say, that only makes every other aspect of your life more meaningful. And sometimes it brings you face to face with things that you're carrying that have been not serving and undermining your overall fulfillment in life. So and it doesn't need to be, I think also, well, let me put this in a form of a question. Some people, and I get this as a therapist, they, worry that when they begin therapy, how much of, how long do they have to be in it for it to have an impact, for it to effect change? I mean, it's a different field, clearly, but there's sometimes a fear of beginning something new because they feel like it's going to, I don't know, envelop too much of their life. So I was wondering if you could explain a little bit about your sort of understanding of is there like a minimum commitment that you need to make for this to have, the kind of impact that you hope it has?
No, I mean, I think everyone is so different. So for me, this is my life. This is what I live and breathe. And this is, I just always want to go deeper and deeper. And this is, and do that with others and bring other people into that. But that's not everyone's path. What I do think is that everyone needs to prioritize self-connection and intentionality and presence. And that can be as simple and as quick as 5 breaths in the morning. That can be dropping by to pick up tea on your way to work. That can be, you know, one ritual and then never coming back, or one ceremony and then never coming back. I think that consistency is important. I think that allows for depth and a longer impact and for it to really ripple out into everything. But if someone were to just come, you know, for one ceremony, that you never know how that will lead into the rest of their life.
Exactly.
And also for someone, if someone were to come, just for their morning tea every morning on their way to work, that ritual can change everything. And really, I think it's one thing I want to show people through this space and through our different offers is that it can be simple, it can fit your life, and there is no one size fits all. It's not, yoga's not for everyone, meditation's not for everyone, tea ceremony is not for everyone. Like you find what works for you and make it fit your life. And I yeah, I think a lot of the spiritual world and just the world in general is based off of rules and um
It's a
hierarchy
right
and
way to do it.
yeah, right and
Yeah,
wrong, good or bad, and that's not what this is about at all. This is about
exactly.
getting to know yourself and accepting yourself so you know what is right for you and allowing that to be enough and allowing that to be perfect. And yeah, I think for me and that comes back to like showing people that this lifestyle is for everyone and finding the way that it can fit into your everyday life. Like I don't think ceremonies should just be saved for full moons or New Year's. I think that's why we're going to be doing them regularly, ritually, weekly. Um, but so yeah, I think the consistency of things, the ritual of things um, really does have an impact, but how that shows up in your life is different, and this space is here for you to figure it out.
Love that. And I think that's important. And I think that just walking into that space from the busyness of one's own mind and all the stimulation that comes at us from the get-go of the day through devices, etc. Just walking to that space reminds us that, you know, there's another way to approach the
Yeah. And
day, or take a break in the day. Sorry to
well, no, it's
interrupt.
just to live, a
That's
different way to
yeah,
live,
that's
show
right.
up in your life and feel in your life. Another thing I want to highlight is that we'll be definitely doing a lot of collaborations. I already have a bunch in the works that I'm really, really excited about with different people um, who are going to be offering their own workshops or offers, or also a bunch that we're going to be doing together. So if you are local or going to be in upstate New York and interested, please reach out because I really want to highlight other people and bring them in. That's a huge part of the community I want to build, and that's the thing. I really want this to be a community. Of course, I want this to be a destination, like come from all over and visit whenever you can. But I really do want to emphasize the ritual of it all. And I hope to build out that regularity and a goal of mine is to build up the membership and emphasize that. Um, and this is very much a work in progress. I'm learning as I go. I'm always listening to my intuition in the moment. And so this is Intuitively Wild is community. Like it's a community. And it's going to be growing. We're going to be growing together. So everyone's feedback and thoughts is really wanted and welcomed because that will shape how things grow and evolve. This is just version one. I have long-term evolutions of this, but from there, like how it grows through its evolution will be shaped by the feedback and um, the community. So I just always want to hear from everyone, and that's really important to me too.
So much I hear in my own work, when people are struggling, a lot of times it comes down to needing a sense of belonging somewhere, and that's lacking, related to everything we're talking about. But building this nucleus that you can come in and feel a sense of belonging on your own terms, on what works for you, but that it will always be there for you as a community, and you will always feel seen. I mean, it's really, just thinking about it is healing, it's just a very, very beautiful thing. And is there, when you look for collaborators or they reach out to you, are there, being someone as you are that's extremely intentional, and have such a clear vision of what goes on in your space, what kinds of things are you looking to collaborate with? Or are you just
Yeah,
letting see what comes through the door?
I'm very open, but I'm also very discerning. But above it all, I just listen to my intuition. So it doesn't have to be something that you think, like I'm super excited to bring different artists and creators, even if they're not in the spiritual space or offers that might seem completely unrelated. But in my head, it really is. It's all about connection and community and creativity and bringing people together and embracing our imperfections, getting to know each other and ourselves. So I'm really open to so many things. I think it's just about if I feel like it's really an energetic match for the space. Um, and sometimes I like to get to know someone a little bit before, because I've had different experiences with collaborating with people, and I've just learned that, sometimes you don't know someone fully or how that's gonna play out. And so sometimes um, it takes a couple of calls or a couple of connections or a couple of times of someone coming to the space and us interacting for me to really solidify how I feel. But overall, I'm not looking for any specific genre or type of person or line of work. It's really um, about if it feels right for Intuitively Wild. And I only know that through my intuition. So, yeah.
Yeah, very exciting. I'm excited about all of it.
Yes. And so the opening ceremony is March 21st for both the initiation and opening of Intuitively Wild and also for the spring equinox. I'm not, it's free, but there is a limited amount of people you do have to RSVP. So I'm not sure if there are still spots open. But the link will be in the show notes, so you can go and check that out. And if there are spots, please come. But then the weekend after, March 27th and 28th, we're having an open house weekend, which will kind of be like regulate hours where you can just come and hang out. We'll be giving away some special discounts and offers and just get to know the space and ask any questions. And there will be some little rituals for you to do and take home. Um, I haven't decided the exact hours yet, but it will be pretty much all day, and that will be in the show notes too. And then starting the week after, our full schedule is open. And again, you can look at the calendar and come and book and or come and hang out. And I just I can't wait to welcome everyone. And every month we will be releasing a schedule on Instagram that will have all the monthly offers with our collaborations and themes. And each week we'll have a weekly schedule. And so hopefully we'll be making it really clear what's going on. But there are consistencies with the schedule. So again, hopefully that will become clear in time too. Regular hours for now are going to always stay the same, and that's on our website. So if you're curious what times you can just come and hang out and have tea, that is on the website. So also our new website is up and it's beautiful. So that will have all that, if you're wanting more details and information about anything, including my one-on-one mentorships and all the offers, you should go to the website because that has everything.
And the teas, you create them
Yes, not the tea ceremony teas, because those are from
specifically, right?
yes, those are from China and Japan, and specifically for a tea ceremony. And I'll be selling some of those casually during regular hours as well. But yes, the herbal blends are all intuitively wild, and we'll be selling those both at regular hours, and if you want to take them home to have at home, we'll also be selling our Intuitively Wild journals and pens and tote bags. Members get special journals, and
Beautiful merch.
I think that's everything for now.
Yeah.
Do
Oh,
you,
well,
do you have anything before we wrap up?
just that it's, I am excited for people to get to know it and get to know you and Intuitively Wild, and how really beautiful the space is, and what a beautiful expression it is of your passions and your mission. And thank you for creating it. It's
I don't really feel like it was an option. It was just what was asked of me.
well, that's
And like I
fabulous.
have said, my word for 2026 is devotion. And really my biggest devotion is to Intuitively Wild and to creating this space. So I'm just really excited. And we will record another podcast together soon. Probably, our R&I for April, where we can kind of go over how things are going, but maybe even another one just talking about how the opening went, and if anyone has any questions or anything that they want us to talk about more, please reach out. And yeah, just so grateful.
So grateful for you.
All right, everyone, we'll see you next time for more magic, and hopefully see you in person very soon. Thank you so much for joining me on this episode of Intuitively Wild, the podcast. I hope it helped deepen your connection to yourself, sparked some insights, and inspired you to live intuitively wild. If you enjoyed this podcast, it would mean so much to me if you would share it with others and leave a rating and review. And please reach out to me. I would love to connect with you. I will see you next time for more magic.